What's going on, guys? Mega Gig back with another video, back with Diablo 3, and we've got our Barbarian. Again, we're doing another speed build today. This is the OG version, I guess, of the speed build, or the speed build version of the OG Charge Barb. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's not totally different. Basically, you just go all damage, get more cooldown reduction if you can, this and that. We're going to go over the stuff and the changes, and really, I mean, the Greater Rift pushing version could be used as a speed build, honestly, if you're just doing T13s. This one that I have equipped here, with the exception of this ring, if I swapped it out for this, can do low to mid 80s, and that's just with my gear not being augmented and everything. In comparison to the Charge Seismic Slam speed build that I did a few days ago, which can push a little bit higher because it has more toughness, because it has Ignore Pain in there, and yeah, it has more toughness just from that. The main difference is this one is probably going to be faster at T13 and the lower Greater Rift levels up until about 80 or so. And then the other one will start to shine again because I said it's got that toughness built in. Feel free to check out that video and compare them, you know, kind of side by side if you want. I do also want to say the build guide for that other video, I've been trying to put it on Diablo fans, but I've been having trouble logging in every single day, and it's not working for some reason. I've changed my password, and I can get logged into Twitch, and then I go back to Diablo fans, and it's not letting me in. So hopefully I get that resolved soon. So for the time being, that build guide, and this one probably won't be on there unless it gets fixed today or something, and then I'll get them up. But yeah, basically, you're going to need 3 pieces rather, of Ray cores and 5 pieces of Immortal Kings. And we are using the Ring of Royal Grandeur, allowing us to get the 6-piece set bonus of Immortal Kings and the 4-piece set bonus of Ray cores, and that is very important. Because this is a speed build, we've swapped out our diamonds for strength gems. We're just going basically all damage. We've swapped out our flawless Royal Amethyst for reduced cooldown here, and my cooldown reduction on this build is not very much at all. It could be a lot higher. A friend of mine said to get Furious Charge to reset on hitting 3 enemies or more, you need 37 or 37.5% cooldown reduction. So I would try to hit that number if you can. It's going to help you get your Furious Charge reset better, so you don't end up walking around doing nothing. But yeah, Ring of Royal Grandeur. I'm still using my Hellfire Amulet with the Superstition passive just for a little bit more toughness. You can put whatever you want here, really. It doesn't really matter. But for gems, we're using Wreath of Lightning. This is for the speed bonus to do more damage on this build, because we do damage equal to our speed, because of equal to 500% of our speed because of Standoff, which we're still using, Vile Ward, and Band of Might. And then we're using Bane of the Trapped as well. Of course, a big damage multiplier. Now, I myself, if you're running T13s, I like to run an Avarice Band and Boon of the Hoarder. This gives you a lot of pickup radius. It gives you a lot of movement speed. And yeah, there's just bonuses all around. If you're pushing, or if you're speed running lower to mid 80s, on Greater Rifts, or however good your gear is. If you have optimal gear, you could probably do low 90s with the speed build. You're probably still going to want to run a Convention of Elements. It's just going to give you more damage all around. And then in that, instead of running an Esoteric, I would run a Bane of the Powerful. Again, it's just more damage. Or you could opt for a Bane of the Stricken. Either way, it's going to be fine. But you're going to be killing things very fast. That Bane of the Powerful will probably be a better benefit, because it's 15% damage versus elites, and then 20% increased damage all the time, whereas this is 25% increased damage against elites, but the damage, the extra damage coming from it has to stack up over time, and you're really going to be killing things very, very fast with this build, so you're not really going to benefit from Bane of the Stricken very much. When it comes to bracers, I am running Nemesis bracers. I find these to really speed up rifts, especially when you're finding shrines and pylons. It's really, really nice. Another option, which I actually don't have any on me, I was trying to find them, is strong arm bracers. This is going to give you another 30% damage increase multiplier because we are knocking things back with Merciless Charge. Probably not worth it to swap out Vile Ward. Furious Charge deals 35% increased damage for every enemy hit while charging. So this is probably going to, especially if you get more density, this is going to net you more damage. But if you don't want to run Nemesis bracers and you have strong arm bracers, feel free to run them as well. That is basically the gear. Not a lot has changed, except yeah, I'm using the Avarice Band, like I said. If you're in T13s, I really like it. If you're speed farming greater rifts, again, you'll probably go back to Convention of Elements. Skills aren't that much different either. The only thing we've really changed is we've swapped out Animosity or Nerves of Steel, whichever one of those defensive skills you are using. We've swapped out for Brawler for more damage, 20% more damage when 3 or more enemies are around. And then, of course, we're also using Rampage, Berserker Rage, and Ruthless, so all of our damage passives. We're using Seismic Slam, Rumble as a Fury dump to reset our Wrath of the Berserker and call the Ancients, because to get the bonus, the 6-piece bonus here, the 1500%, you have to have both Berserker Rage and or Wrath of the Berserker and call the Ancients up at the same time. So you need to be filling your Fury and then dumping it with Seismic Slam. Seismic Slam is not going to be doing a ton of damage. Your main damage is going to be from Furious Charge, but again, this is a Fury dump to reset these skills so you can keep them both up all the time. Battle Rage, Bloodshed, another huge damage bonus. Of course, Furious Charge. We're gaining all of the runes from the 4-piece bonus of this. Furious Charge gains the effect of every rune and deals 1000% increased damage. So just pick a rune. I'm going with just Merciless Assault just because. Yeah. And then Sprint Marathon, again, this is for more damage, more movement speed, equals more damage with this build. And I like to do the numlock trick on this build, which means I have this set to, let's just go in and see. Yeah, I have it set to Action Bar 2, which is right there. I have it set to Numpad 1. So basically you have numlock on, you press down the 1 button, which activates this. You hold it, and then you hit the numlock button, turning numlock off, and it will recast this skill over and over and over again. Yeah, and actually I have numlock on now. I'll hit the 1 button, not enough Fury. I'll hit numlock, turning numlock off, and you'll see that just stays up there because it's continuously trying to cast this. And yeah, you'll see that when we get into the... I'm going to go ahead and reset it, but you'll see that I'll do that as soon as we get into the Rift. Call the Ancients and Wrath of Berserker again together as one to give us a little bit of toughness. This build is not really known for its toughness. You don't really need toughness on T13, but as you get a little bit higher in greater rifts for speed pushing, you will want a little bit of toughness here and there. So that's why I keep together as one, and again, that's why I keep the Superstition passive there, and then of course Wrath of Berserker Insanity for more damage. Again, we went over the cube. Paragon points, not a lot to say here. I've pumped some points into Vitality because my health is really low on this build, and it just keeps from getting one shot, helps keep from getting one shot here or there. Maximum Fury, again, the more Fury we have, the more damage Seismic Slam Rumble does, but Seismic Slam isn't really our damage dealer, but the more Fury you're dumping, the faster this gets cooled down. So I like to keep max Fury. I actually do want to have max movement speed here. We'll put 200 points back in there, and then go Strength. Go ahead and accept that For offense, you'll want critical hit chance, critical hit damage, cooldown reduction, and attack speed. For defense, you'll want resist all, armor, life, and life regen. And then finally in utility, you'll want life per hit, area damage, resource cost reduction, and gold find in the order stated. So we're just going to run a quick T13 so you can kind of see the Avarice Band at work as well if you're a new player and haven't actually seen that. Like I said, if you're going to run lower greater rifts, you get the set and you want to like speed farm 75s or maybe 80s and level up some legendary gems, then swap that out for Convention of Elements. You can also, again, swap out Nemesis Bracers for Strong Arm Bracers. So we'll get in here. I'm going to go ahead and do the numlock trick. So numlock is on right now. I'm going to hit the number 1 button and turn it off. Then I'm going to pop both of my buffs. And you can see everything just dies. But make sure you are dumping your Fury. Oh, we're stuck. To get the reset on that, you can see dumping Fury resets that. I'm going to pick up some of this stuff. Because to get that 1500% bonus from the Immortal King set, you do need to have both of those skills up. And you can see our pickup radius, because of the Avarice Band, picking up all that gold, picks up the health globes and everything else as well pretty much instantly. So we don't have to worry about going around picking things up. If you have good pickup radius on your character, then you can forego the Avarice Band. But again, with this build, and we messed up our cooldowns. Again, with this build, though, movement speed does equal extra damage. So in T13s, this also has a damage benefit behind it. And you can see when Wrath of Berserker drops off, still doing okay damage, but not near as much as we should be. We're not one-shotting things. So we'll go ahead and cast that back up. And apparently that 1 wasn't enough to reset our... I don't care about him. This build does take a little bit of practice to really get good at. Even in speed runs, mainly managing your charge stacks is the biggest thing that becomes a problem. But if you have plenty of materials and you don't need to pick up anything, you can literally just charge through. You're automatically picking up orbs because of the Avarice Band. And depending on the rift you get, you can really get done fast. This is one build that I never got super good at. Well, there's a lot of builds I never got super good at. One thing you do have to be aware of if you do the numlock trick is this is going to be constantly spending Fury. So it's just something to be aware of if you're trying to dump your Fury. But there we go. That didn't take long at all. We'll go ahead and clear out what's left here. And apparently that got canceled. Sometimes when you do the numlock trick, that'll get canceled. I don't know why. The numlock trick will get canceled, not just because you run out of Fury, but I don't know. It just does sometimes. But yeah, so keep an eye on that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a great speed build. I find this build a lot of fun. The only issue I have with pushing with this build is managing my Furious charge stacks, because I just charge around like mad. I'm not a pro at this build. And I don't really feel like taking the time to get a pro at this build because I like the Whirlwind build. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the speed build. If you did, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you guys for watching. More good stuff to come. Take care.